Welcome and thanks for joining us at EMII.com. I'm Caitlin Sisney with your hedge fund headlines. Today is Thursday, March 6, 2008. The Securities and Exchange Commission has proposed a new rule aimed at curbing naked short sale abuses. According to Dow Jones Newswires, the latest proposal in the four-year campaign would crack down on traders who deliberately deceive brokers about having securities prior to the short sales and then don't deliver them by the appointed delivery date. The SEC has said that about 1% of share trades a day suffer from delivery failures, amounting to roughly $1 billion. Dow Jones notes that the SEC already is authorized to sue short sellers who abuse the system, but agency officials believe a specific anti-fraud rule would have a greater impact on curbing the illegal activity in the first place. The SEC has said the new rules would not apply to market makers. Staying with hedge fund headlines, a new venture capital fund that will see consumer media companies is being produced by a partnership between a Hollywood talent agency, two major capital firms, and a major telecom. Taking part in the project are the William Morris Agency, Accel Partners, Venrock, and AT&T. The fund, which has yet to be named, will be headed by Richard Wolpert, former Chief Strategy Officer of Real Networks and President of Disney Online. It will invest in seed stage, so-called Web 3.0 consumer media technology companies. Senior Vice President and head of William Morris Consulting, Paul Brickholt, told the Los Angeles Times, quote, "We are focusing on Southern California because we truly believe there's a sense of reality here about the intersection of media and entertainment and technology." And in hedge fund headlines overseas, in efforts to get private equity firms to better engage workers in portfolio companies, at least 3 of the largest trade unions in the UK have embarked on a campaign to make sure private equity firms are required to abide by the proposed Transfer of Undertakings and Protection and Employment Bill. The bill gives workers a voice in future company plans. It gets a second reading before the House of Commons March 7th. A member of Parliament told Financial News, quote, "If private equity wants to be seen as a responsible player in the business community, then it has to abide by the same rules and obligations as the rest of that community." Representatives of the private equity industry have said PE funds already practice such consultation. And in other hedge fund news, cash-heavy hedge funds may find new feeding grounds in Australia as they look for new opportunities and while companies down under are turning to alternative funding. Rob van der Zel of UBS's Alternative Capital Group told The Australian, quote, "At the start of this year, we felt that the majority of our hedge fund clients were pretty well cashed up after having heeded the warnings last year." Director in the UBS Group, David Feldman, says global hedge funds will provide Aussie companies with a lot of liquidity in the next 12 months, especially since Australia has good regulatory and disclosure compared with other countries. Van der Zel said resources will be a strong sector, noting, however, that those which are highly leveraged in nature might be more difficult. And that rounds out today's hedge fund headlines. Thanks for joining us on EMII.com. For more details on these stories and much more, click on our hedge funds channel online and read the latest developments.